Heads Up Play Podcast, episode 21. Here we are. Friday is a great Friday, February the 2nd. How was your week, Cowboy?
Man, I thought Friday was never going to get here, man. I'm so excited for this weekend. Got a lot going on this weekend, man. How was your week?
My week has been all right. It was very busy work-wise. Hopefully this next week will not be the same. But all in all, I'm ready for the weekend. I do work the weekends. I work on Saturdays when I'm out working. So I will have to work tomorrow, but that's okay. But I'm ready to just hit the ground running, ready to get this. I've been looking forward to this episode for so long. I'm just ready to record some Heads Up Play.
There we go.
My energy is so high.
We got so much going on this weekend, guys, in my life. Let me tell you, we are going mobile tomorrow. You will be getting updates from my day. We are starting off at bright and early at 8 o'clock. Somebody has challenged Cowboy to a pickleball match, him and his wife. And it's one of our loyal subscribers. We'll give her a shout out, Amy.
Ooh.
Amy has challenged me and my wife to a pickleball tournament. So we got a pickleball game tomorrow. And then we are going to a sports memorabilia trade show in the town we live in Dothan. So we got that. And then we're capping off the night at the Dwarfinators. We are going live to a little person's wrestling or...
Now, is this the midget wrestling, or is this like another
This is another
a
spin-off.
knockoff?
A knockoff. But
okay.
They're coming Thursday. Psycho and all them.
Igor the Micro.
They are coming Thursday to Cowboys, but we are going
Little
Saturday.
Miss.
We are going Saturdays tomorrow night to the Dwarfinators midget wrestling. We are very excited. We will take pictures and videos, and we will try to get pictures with the Dwarfinators. Going tomorrow, hopefully at the sports trade show, Alabama legends Trent Richardson and Glenn Coffey will be there. And then Braves legend John Rocker will also be there.
Oh.
We'll be trying to get pictures, and we'll be trying. I don't know how much of a legend.
Punch John Rocker in the face. You know.
The real life Danny McBride. I mean, the real life Kenny Powers. But right. Yeah, man, we got a lot going on this weekend.
All right, so to get us started here, we got a good list of things that we're going to talk about here, but something that I want to talk about for just a moment that we don't have listed before we get going. Right down the road from where I'm at, in Mobile, Alabama, tomorrow is the Senior Bowl.
I didn't even think about it, yeah.
The Senior Bowl is tomorrow. Do you have anyone in particular? Are you going to watch the Senior Bowl? Do you have anybody that you're going to be watching? I'm
going to try to watch it on my phone. Some names I've been seeing on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, all that names that are popping up. Spencer Rattler's going off. Ladd McConkey is the number one name coming out of this round.
That's what I'm hearing. He might be a top 5 wide receiver taken in the draft, which is beyond.
They're saying Ladd is going off right now. Like, he is such a slot player, slot receiver. It's not funny. I'm hearing quarterback-wise, Spencer Rattler. I'm seeing Carter Bradley from South Alabama jump up a little. He's not going to be a day 1 starter, but I'm seeing at least day 3 earlier than they thought. But
do you think he got his spot in the Senior Bowl because of his dad, or because he actually he did have a good career at South Alabama? I don't know if it's Senior Bowl worthy, though.
If you think about the other seniors in America, yes, I think he earned it. You know what I mean? If it was juniors and seniors, then no, but with it being the Senior Bowl and him being a senior, yes, I think he did deserve it. I definitely think he was the last, either him or Michael Pratt from Tulane were the last 2 quarterbacks.
I agree. So for me, the Senior Bowl every year is always a showcase of quarterbacks, to be honest. I mean, that's really the guys that most people are going there to watch. Obviously not NFL scouts, but I am excited. I kind of want to watch Michael Penix a little bit, see how he does. Word on the street is his draft stock isn't as high as you really would think, especially with guys like Drake May, Caleb Williams ahead of him, Jaden Daniels. And then I want to watch my boy Justin Aboigbe from Bama. So
one name I am seeing that is dropping, and that is former Auburn quarterback and Oregon quarterback Bo Nix. He is, to our surprise, he's not as good as people think he is.
He must have some bad luck.
NFL, yes.
He must have some bad luck playing in the state of Alabama. Who knows?
He has to. I mean, it's not looking good for Bo. They said he can throw the ball short, but God, they said his passing, like going deep, and his accuracy is not the best.
All right, so let's start us off here. Some sad news came out today. Passing away at the age of 76, the one and only Carl Weathers, who is famously played Apollo Creed in the Rocky series.
He's Apollo. He played in Predator. He kind of he rose. I mean, he's always been Carl Weathers, but he kind of rose again lately, being in the Mandalorian series on Disney Plus. But Carl Weathers has passed away, 76 years old. He is known, though, as Apollo Creed, the man that Rocky fights the first two movies, and then he helps Rocky in 3 and 4.
All right, so we've got a section here. Favorite Rocky movie?
Mine is Rocky 4. And I'm not. And this is when Apollo fights the Russian Drago, and Drago kills him, and then Rocky trains and beats Drago in Russia. You know, Drago's working on the machines, and then it's the montage. He's with the machines, and then Rocky is in the mountains, like in the snow, working out with wood and all that stuff. That's my favorite Rocky movie.
Okay. All right. You're going to be disappointed with me here. I haven't seen any Rocky movies.
What?
I have only ever seen the first Creed, and I've seen bits and pieces of some other original Rocky movies. There's just so many of them. You and I are both movie buffs. This is not something that we typically talk about on the pod, but we're about to. But I have never had the desire to watch any of the Rocky movies. They're all so long, and there's 18 billion of them. So I would love to take a weekend or something and just say, hey, I'm going to watch all the Rocky movies. But I just haven't ever gotten around to watching them. I did watch, I went to the theaters to watch the original Creed, the first one with Michael B. Jordan, and I fell asleep.
I mean, Rocky movies, I will say they're slow, but they're good. Like, towards the end, oh man. I mean, when he's fighting in Russia, mind you, none of this would ever happen in real life. He's fighting in Russia, and he beats Drago, and then Russia starts chanting, Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. And this is in the middle of the Cold War, and they're chanting Rocky. Like, it never would happen, but it's such a good movie.
Now, I have liked some boxing movies before. One in particular, I haven't seen it in a long time, but Cinderella Man. I don't know if you've ever seen Cinderella Man.
I've seen that one, yeah.
Fantastic boxing movie. You would really enjoy that one. But it kind of helps us transition here because we have a good topic. It's been a slow sports week outside of like the Senior Bowl. No NFL games this weekend. There's been a little bit of college basketball.
College basketball. We've already talked about it, yeah.
So we thought this episode would be a great time to just kind of discuss some other aspects of sports. And us being big movie guys, we're going to give you our top 5 sports movies. All right. So let's start. Let's do. Like, I give 5, you give 5, I give 4, you give 4. Does that work for you?
That's fine.
All right. Well, actually, all right. I'm going to give an honorable mention for basically my number 6. I had to fit it on here somewhere, but I didn't think it was better than any of these. Number 6, I'm going to go with For the Love of the Game. It's a romance movie. I know a lot of guys don't really like it, but Kevin Costner's in it. Really good baseball movie. Doesn't have a ton to do with baseball. It's more so is like, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, like his relationship with his woman. It's a good movie. For some reason I feel like Kevin Costner is in like half the baseball movies ever made.
He is. My honorable mention is stars Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. White Man Can't Jump. God, I love that movie.
What did you think of the recent remake?
It was okay. It was nowhere near. It kind of falls into, and we talked about in either episode or two ago, about how Hollywood is just remaking everything and anything. That one definitely should never get a remake. It's a good, if it does, you don't get Jack Harlow to play. But I love that movie with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. It's funny, and it has a lot of good basketball scenes. We going to Sizzlers. I love me some White Man Can't Jump. I have that movie on DVD. It's one of those movies. Movie. When I mean, that's what I'm saying. These top 5 movies, I just like them that much. I really do. But
All right. My number 5 is great performance by the one and only Billy Bob Thornton. I'm going Friday Night Lights.
Oh, wow.
I do like Friday Night Lights.
I thought you was about to go, oh, wow, breaking news. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is coming off the best year of his career in 2023. He expects to sign an extension this offseason with the Miami Dolphins.
I was expecting that. I did hear a little bit about him probably getting a big contract here soon. So I imagine it'll be pretty hefty.
My 5 stars Samuel L. Jackson. Give me Coach Carter.
Coach Carter. I like Coach Carter. I do. I kind of forgot about it, but I still wouldn't put it in my top 5, but I like Coach Carter.
Coach Carter, I really like that one. That one to me it's just a classic. You know, you got in Richmond, Virginia, and he used to play there. You got these tough-nosed kids trying to keep them out of the streets. It's a really good, especially I love when the parents go against him when he says they signed a contract. He says, I don't care, coach. I just want my boys to play ball. But I love that movie. So let's go to 4.
All right, my number 4, and you might laugh. My number 4, believe it or not, is Talladega Nights. The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
You can't beat Ricky Bobby. I mean,
if you think about it, it's really, it's a story of relationships. I mean, he loses his wife, and he finds a new young Isla Fisher. I think that's not Isla Fisher.
That's Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. I always get the two mixed up. Both redheads, you know.
They look good.
Amy Adams. I mean, and he loses his best friend who just takes advantage of him. But at the end of the day, he was kind of asking for it. And my dad, believe it or not, is in that movie.
Where is he at in that movie? Because I know that movie. I love that movie. You tell me where.
So my dad is in that movie for. All right. So in the scene, it's kind of like an overview scene in Talladega when he's getting to race in Talladega. And they show an overview, and there's a line of paramedics. My dad is like a head paramedic guy. And they show a line of paramedics, and he was there because it actually was like the race, like the Talladega race. And he works Talladega a lot. And his hand was in there for about a second.
I'm not going to lie, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Can you give me your because that was back when Will Ferrell was on top of the world when it came to comedy movies. What is your favorite Ricky Bobby quote?
My favorite Ricky Bobby quote?
Yes.
In the movie?
And not even Ricky Bobby, just quote from the movie.
I mean, I feel like as a kid, and I probably, like, it's not as funny as I'm older, but it's always the most memorable line to me is, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I feel like everybody, our generation at least, that grew up with that movie, because that was my quote too. That was the quote everybody said.
Everybody said it in school. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I mean, I'm a scissor kick you in the back of the head, Chip. That sounds like a good day. We threw a bunch of Grandpa Chip's war mandals off the side of a bridge. That sounds like a good day.
Classic. I mean, all right, just to go, I would put Talladega Nights as a top 3 Will Ferrell movie.
Oh, we can get into Will Ferrell.
We can get into that separately. Well, that'd be another time. But all right, your number 4.
My number 4, and it's a new movie starring Zac Efron, The Iron Claw, talking about the Van Erichs family wrestling. Oh my! I know you said you haven't seen that movie. The fact that Zac Efron was not nominated for an Oscar is ridiculous. I mean, it is so emotional, sad. I mean, you get into it with it. The first hour, you're like, everybody in the theater is doing the claw, just. And then, I mean, that last few scenes, oh my God, it's tough. It is tough.
I've heard it is very, very hard watch. I've heard a lot of dudes walk out of the theater crying.
Like my mom and my wife was crying in that movie.
That is, I really need to see it. I wanted to go see it in theaters. It's kind of running out in a lot of theaters now, so I could probably get it on streaming here soon. But
A24 knocked it out of the ballpark with that movie.
as they very often do.
That they're up and coming. Like they might already be here, but I think they're an up and coming up there with like Paramount and all that as a movie studio.
All right, my number 3, classic. Remember the Titans.
Oh, that's low.
You think 3 is low for Remember the Titans?
We'll get into it. Tell me why you like Remember the Titans.
I would put Remember the Titans higher, but the ones above it I just think are not only 2 of my favorite sports movies, but 2 of my all-time favorite movies of all time. I really like Remember the Titans. Denzel just does a fantastic job. All the supporting roles in it. It really is it tells that time period. Being in the South, we didn't grow up in the segregation era,
of course,
but I do think, while I think that it's often overplayed, I do think that we, experienced some of the back end of that. We've definitely seen it in some rural parts of Alabama, but I really enjoy that movie. I think it's just a classic family movie with a more serious tone, but also some fun to it. I can never Remember the Titans never gets old to me. It can't.
I agree, and we'll get into that when I get to it. My 3 is a classic. In my opinion, the best baseball movie of all time. Stars Charlie Sheen, Wesley Snipes, not Tom Sizemore, I forgot what his name is, but Bellinger, I think, but Major League.
I love some Major League.
I love Major League. Is that these next 3 movies for me are the type of movies they can be on at any point of the TV and I'll watch it. Major League is so good. Major League 2's okay. I didn't like it because they changed Wesley Snipes, but I loved Major League. From Charlie Sheen to Wesley Snipes, it has that right amount of comedy, right amount of seriousness, a little bit of love. It's good. That's my number 3. What's your number 2?
So, Spencer Strider of the Braves, his favorite movie is Major League.
Major League.
He even changed his number to 99.
He got the mustache.
He's got the mustache and everything. I kind of wish he was a reliever just so he could come out to Wild Thing. I think that would be hilarious. All right, so you said that you believe that Major League was the best baseball movie ever. My next 2 are actually baseball movies, and they're not Major League. And I really would put what I have as number 2 here as my number 1 if we're talking about like how good the movie actually is. But I just have a special place in my heart for number 1. Number 2, I think, is just an incredible movie, incredible performance by the one and only Brad Pitt. I'm going Moneyball. I can watch that movie anytime. He does a fantastic job. Jonah Hill is great in that movie as Peter Brand. It's so good. I mean, the scene of the streak that the A's go on, that 21 or 22 game streak that they go on, is fantastic. I love some Moneyball. I even showed it to Lindsay, my fiance, who has become a big baseball fan since she's been with me. But I showed her that movie and she loved it.
I like Moneyball. Moneyball is a good movie. It's a little slow for me. I like it. I still
it is a little slow.
It's just a little slow. But my number 2, and I didn't have it as number 2. I like this movie a lot, but when you threw out Ricky Bobby, I was like, okay, I can put comedy. And I put Caddyshack.
Okay.
Caddyshack to me.
I like Caddyshack.
I freaking love Caddyshack. It's because I'm telling you, it was Chevy Chase. What's his name? Rodney Dangerfield. Oh man, I love Caddyshack. To me, you got Bill Murray. That is easily my favorite Bill Murray movie of all time, and Roger Dangerfield. I mean, at the end when he goes, "Everybody, let's cheer! We're gonna get laid," and everybody's like, "What?" I just love Caddyshack. That's my number 2.
Let me ask you, similar movie made a little bit later than Caddyshack, but also a golf movie. Thoughts on Happy Gilmore?
That is probably besides Billy Madison, that's probably my favorite Adam Sandler.
Okay. I mean, those 2 movies combined made his whole
They did. I mean,
studio, Happy
Madison.
Madison.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, my number one, and it is not just my favorite sports movie of all time. It is indeed my favorite movie of all time. But I can admit that it's not.
I think I don't know what it is.
It is not exactly the best movie. I can say it's honestly kind of a dumb movie, kind of a dumb concept, and it doesn't really make much sense. But my favorite movie, I have such a big place in my heart for it. Kevin Costner, again, Field of Dreams. That is my favorite movie of all time. I would have, if I had the money, I would have paid to go to the Field of Dreams game when they had it going on. I mean, I just a huge fan. I will watch it every single time. I can quote it line by line. That is my favorite sports movie of all time.
I like Field of Dreams. I like Field of Dreams. My number one, Remember the Titans. I think Remember the Titans is the best Disney movie they've ever made that does not have like a Disney character in it. You know what I mean? Like a Jack Sparrow. I definitely think it's the best Disney movie of all time. I think it's the best sports movie they've made of all time in Disney. I truly think it is so slept on. I'm kind of shocked. Well, that you can't ever make a remake to that, but it did so well. Like I'm not shocked they haven't tried to replicate that formula. I think I think that is easily Denzel Washington's top 5 performance.
You know, they've made a number of high school football movies
because of that movie.
Because of that movie that are kind of have similar tones. One that I immediately think of, and it didn't really get very big because it was kind of a local movie. I don't know if you've ever seen Woodlawn.
Woodlawn I wasn't a fan of Woodlawn that much.
You weren't a fan? I liked it. It was it felt cheap. And then I would say Friday Night Lights. I would say just a number of high school football movies kind of seem to have stemmed from Remember the Titans and tried to do it as big as Remember the Titans. Radio. Have you ever seen Radio?
Radio. I didn't like Radio that much.
I liked it. It was.
If I had to pick my second favorite high school football movie, it was a couple years ago. Jim Caviezel played in it. When the game stands tall.
I know that movie. I haven't seen that movie.
About the California team, De La Salle.
Yeah. All right.
Good. Yeah, I have Remember the Titans number 1.
All right. What is your most? What do you think is the most overrated sport?
Sandlot.
Why? I like the Sandlot. Not enough.
I think Sandlot is so freaking boring. It's not funny. I think it is the worst movie. It is so overrated. Like you play like a girl. Like it's just not funny to me. I don't understand. I don't like it at all. It's kind of like Napoleon Dynamite.
What?
I just don't. I don't like it. I don't know. I never liked Sandlot. I didn't like Sandlot as a kid. I was
just going to ask you, how old were you when you first watched Sandlot?
I was like 7. Like I just never liked it.
Like, see, I can see not liking it as an adult, but like I feel like everybody likes it as a kid. I enjoy Sandlot.
I didn't like it. I liked Major League as a kid. I liked.
What about Bad News Bears?
I've seen the remake. To it. I didn't watch the old one.
The original one, man, that is
as a kid, my favorite one was Rookie of the Year.
I like Rookie of the Year. I actually think that one's a little overrated.
See, that was my favorite one as a kid. I didn't like Sandlot. I'm telling you, I do not like Sandlot. I think the plot is stupid. I just didn't get behind it. There's Gambino.
I will say this though, and I'll give my overrated here in a second. I'll say though, despite baseball not being as popular as it used to be, even 20 years ago, probably like baseball, like football is most definitely ahead of baseball, and I'd probably say basketball is ahead of baseball right now. I know all the baseball movies are the best movies in my opinion, or there are more.
There's more. I agree.
That are good. All right, my most overrated sports movie. I hate this movie. A League of Their Own. Tom Hanks.
That movie's so overrated.
I can't stand that movie.
Yeah.
There's no crying in baseball. I don't think that's funny. I think that's dumb.
Yeah, Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell. I'm not a fan of the cast.
Yeah, not a big fan. And then another one, I don't know if you've seen it. I'm sure you have, is Hoosiers. Very boring to me. Hoosiers. It's boring. I get it. It's like the Midwest Indiana basketball culture thing going on, but to me, it's slow, it's boring. Not a big fan.
There's not. I mean, besides the Iron Claw, I can't think of a sports movie that's came out lately that's been. I mean, maybe Creed. Creed's okay, but I don't know.
All right.
Well, yeah, that's our top 5 sports movies right there. Now, Sam, you sent me something earlier. We're going to kind of transition. You told me that you got a game for me.
I got a game for you. And I'm going to kind of go off my dome a little bit here with this. But it's a game that I like to call the game with no name. I didn't have to come up with a name for it. But I want to ask you, what do you think your knowledge is, like your confidence in your knowledge on like old sports figures?
How old are we talking?
I mean, I could go as far back as like 10 years, or I could go as far back as like 70 years.
And when you say sports figures, like, are we talking like baseball, basketball, football, or all?
Any, yeah.
Let's see how I do. Let's see.
All right, so I'll give you one, and we'll see how you do. I'm going to give you 2 sports figures, and you tell me which one you think had a better career. And by better career, now I'm not going to choose both in the same sport, right?
Yeah.
So, just for example, if we're going today, I might say who has had the better career, Dwayne Wade or Albert Pujols, right? So you like that. That's comparing apples to oranges. So tell me which one you think had a better career. So I will start you off. I'll start you off with that one. Who do you think had the better career, Dwayne Wade or Albert Pujols? And by better career, we don't need to go into depth about like World Series title. We could just who is more iconic, who did more for their sport.
Dwayne Wade is.
You think so?
I mean, Miami-Wade County is named after because of Dwayne Wade.
Okay, all right. So, all right, but do you think that Dwayne Wade did more for basketball than Pujols did for baseball?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he led a Miami Heat team, not even with LeBron, in 2006 against the Dallas Mavericks. He was young. He might have been 25, 26. He led them with an old Shaq and beat Dirk Nowitzki while Dirk was in his prime. I definitely think he's done more for the game outside and on the court. But Pujols, I think he's did a lot internationally. I think he did. I would have said Pujols if he never went to the Angels.
Good point.
But give me Dwayne Wade.
All right, let me go a little bit older here. Let me see your knowledge. What do you think? Who do you think had the better career? I'm going baseball and basketball again. Mark McGwire or Shaquille O'Neal?
Oh, Shaq. Oh gosh, Shaq.
How do you think?
Shaq was Superman. I mean, he was Los Angeles. He kind of made he made Orlando Magic relevant. I mean, they was established. Let me look up when they was established. I want to say they became a dynasty, like a franchise in '91, and by '94 they was in the NBA championship. I want to say back-to-back years, but I mean, I gotta see when they became a franchise. But definitely Shaq. And then you see what Shaq has done off the court, especially now with him being retired. I mean, him and Charles Barkley are inside NBA edition on TNT.
You don't see Mark McGwire anywhere.
No, Mark McGwire. I would have said, I would never have said Mark McGwire, but he would have been close if he did not do steroids, and it came out that he did steroids. I mean, it really hurt Mark McGwire, him and Sammy Sosa, that whole little slew of players. But give me Shaq. Shaq, he started Orlando. He helped the Lakers. I mean, Kobe Bryant, he would say to this day that Shaq, he wouldn't be nowhere where he is without Shaq. Shaq was the first, when Kobe won his first 3 rings, it was because of Shaq.
Joe Montana or Larry Bird? This one's way back.
Bird has 3 championships.
Montana, I want to say he had 5.
I mean, Bird did a lot outside the court. Montana, that's the thing about these basketball players. I will give them credit. They do a lot outside the court when they retire. Because Bird was a coach. He won Coach of the Year with the Pacers. He was the Pacers GM when they had Reggie Miller. Give me Bird. I think Bird. I mean, you got to realize Bird and Matt. It wasn't only Bird. It was both Bird and Matt. They saved the NBA in the 80s. Like, it was bad. They said the NBA was on the collapse of bankruptcy. I mean, they had a big drug problem. Everybody just saw them as drugs and all that. They stopped. I mean, they got the nation together. LA versus Boston. You didn't pick. You either liked LA or Boston. You didn't pick in between. You was either pulling for LA or Boston. Give me Bird.
Better career, more iconic. We can go either way. Tiger Woods or Nick Saban?
Oh, Nick Saban. Well, Tiger. Give me Tiger. Tiger.
Okay.
Tiger's been doing it. You got to think. People think Tiger's old. Tiger's been doing it since he was 15 years old, I believe.
He's been doing it since he was 4 years old. You can see that video. All right. I'll give you one more here. And I'm going to go old on you. All right. Better career. Better career. Wilt Chamberlain or Wilt. I want to find someone comparable to Wilt that I think is comparable to Wilt. Wilt Chamberlain or Willie Mays.
I was gonna say Willie. Wilt Chamberlain. I still want to see that 100-point game. There's no footage of it. I still want to see that. It might never have happened. Give me Willie Mays. Give me the hate kid.
The say hey kid. Okay. All right. And then I got one more for you. And I'll go like this. Two guys that had insane college careers, but had careers in the professional level, but maybe not as good. Well, definitely not as good. One better than the other for sure. Better college career. Joe Namath or Pete Maravich? Are you familiar with Pistol Pete?
Oh yeah. Played at LSU, won him a national championship. Give me Pistol Pete.
I would go Pistol Pete as well. I mean, that man could not miss. But Joe Namath, before his injury to his ankle or whatever, I mean, he might have been the best quarterback of all time.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
LeBron James or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Oh, see that's a tough one. I would say, I mean, I would say Ronaldo simply because he's worldwide, right?
LeBron is.
But I mean, you don't like the FIFA World Cup, man. Like that does.
Yeah,
that kills the Super Bowl. I would say Ronaldo, but I would probably say, like, Ronaldo has a better career because it's a bigger sport. But I would probably say LeBron James is more dominant. That's what I would say in his respective sport. All right, so that's our little game that I kind of came up with on the spot, kind of tested Cowboys knowledge. Maybe he'll come back next episode, maybe test me out a little bit.
I like that. Well,
all right.
Sam, you told me you heard, you saw something on Twitter today about how the SEC and Big Ten are coming together. Are they forming an alliance? What should fans think? Because I personally don't even know what's going on. So,
all right. So I personally think that this could be this whole situation with Tennessee, with the Nico Iamaleava stuff. It could. I don't really think that there's going to be much that happens to Tennessee because I don't think that there's much that they can hit them on, other than maybe some financial stuff. Like, I don't think Nico Iamaleava's going to not have the ability to play next year. I think he's going to be totally eligible. What I think this is, though, was a big mistake by the NCAA. And I think this is the beginning of the end for the NCAA, at least as far as college football goes. I think they'll still continue to have a presence in basketball because they run the NCAA tournament. They run the College World Series in both baseball and softball. But word came out today, per Pete Thamel and a lot of others, reputable sources, that the SEC and the Big Ten are basically combining forces to attack this whole mess that is college athletics, that being the transfer portal, NIL, all of this stuff that's going on that has essentially not killed the game, but drastically changed the sport within the past 3 years.
It's made the players the employer. You know what I mean?
And with all the conference realignment, if you are not a member of the Big Ten or the SEC, you are left out. If you're in the Big Ten or the SEC, whether you're an Ohio State or an Alabama or you're a Vanderbilt or a Maryland, you're in the clear here. But if you're a Florida State, if you're a Clemson, if you're Texas Tech, like one of these bigger schools with some history and some big money, like you're on the outside looking in, man. But that's besides the point. But this is why, if the Big Ten and the SEC come together, which they typically do not, and they are coming together to handle this whole mess, something's about to change, man. Something is about to change. And I really do think that maybe I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 3 years that the NCAA is totally off of college football, at least for the Big Ten and the SEC. And they just, start their own sub football league. And they just go against each other. Like the winner of the SEC and the winner of the Big Ten play each other in the national championship.
That will be interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. But yeah, that's it. All right, so to move on a little bit, I've got a hot take on this. While I think that the NCAA probably should go away, there's all these investigations left and right, and everybody comes out of the woodwork to say that the NCAA is like this big evil corporation. I don't understand why they think that. All right. I'm not going to say who I work for, but I work for a really big company who people say is evil. Or it's not. It's just a big company that likes to make money. NCAA is the same way. So when they do these little investigations and things, it's just enforcing the rules. I don't understand. I understand being upset about it because maybe they don't outline the rules as best as they should. But come on, let's not sit here and act like the NCAA is the big bad, like big brother over college athletics. Follow the rules. Follow the rules.
It's simple. It's kind of like middle school, and you get caught cheating. You're like, well, I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm gonna be honest, but I don't understand. They get upset because they basically get caught cheating, and it's like, well, you didn't do a good enough job cheating not to get caught cheating. You know what I mean?
Right, and I get it. There's a lot of really small rules, and like that Nico ML thing. It comes down to boosters paying for the private jet, right? Or like the Jim Harbaugh thing with paying for the hamburger when he's out recruiting a kid. Yeah, that's dumb. But it's also okay, don't be mad when they enforce the rules. The rules are the rules.
You can't do that. Why are you doing it? You're not above the law.
If you allow them to pay for a private jet flight, then you're opening doors to allow them to do just about anything. If you allow them to pay for a hamburger, then you're allowing them to pay for a car. Then you're allowing them to pay for a house. Then you're allowing them to give them $5 million. It's got to start somewhere. That's my hot take of the day. You got a hot take of the day.
My hot take of the day is more of a funny moment. The ULM Louisiana Monroe players were playing in Louisiana Lafayette, and they call a timeout. The big center looks at the little point guard and knocks the hell out of him.
What was his deal? I didn't really see.
Nobody knows why. Knocked the hell out of him. Knocked him.
Dude,
he truly knocked him out.
He was like, oh, It's my bad, man.
I'm sure everybody's seen that. He knocked him out, knocked the nail out. God, he gave him a 2-piece. My God. But that's my hot take. I couldn't really come up with a hot take. I wanted to talk about how that dude got his shit rocked. Question of the day from me. We have 2 questions of the day, and they're kind of related. So my question of the day is, what sporting event have you always wanted to go to?
So I've got a couple, and of course, like I've always wanted to go to a Super Bowl. I always wanted to go to a World Series. I always wanted to go to a college football national championship. As a massive Alabama fan who has seen Alabama go to a ton of national championships, I kind of hate that I wasn't able to go to one. I kind of wish that I had at some point.
You got to realize we grew up in the days though. It was like if our parents didn't go, we didn't go.
No, exactly. But I kind of wish maybe in college, like Alabama went to the national championship in 2017. I was a sophomore in college by then. I could not have afforded a ticket, but I kind of wish I would have somehow made it work, or at least an SEC championship or something, right? Like I've been to a ton of huge Alabama games, but none of that magnitude. But a unique one, I have always kind of wanted to go to the Kentucky Derby. I mean, it's just such a unique event. Everybody wearing the seersucker and the big hats, and you make the bets, and you got the mint julep drinks and all that. Like it's really a cool event that I've wanted to see. And then it's kind of a new thing, but they're out in Scottsdale, Arizona. They have the Waste Management Open. I don't know if you've seen this. It's like a large pillar, not pillar, but like a large building, and with like open seating, and people are sitting in these open seats. And it's just, that was my Xbox. It's about to automatically turn off in 5 minutes if I don't click anything. So, and it's golfers, and it is apparently the wildest time ever. It's like Mardi Gras for golf. Like they go crazy there for whatever reason. So that would be cool to watch. What about you?
So kind of like you. I've been to a couple Alabama football games. I'm one of those personally, though. I like to watch them at home just because I like to yell at the TV. But I've been to plenty of Alabama basketball. I've seen Alabama play Kentucky many a times. That's cool always. And I mean, I was fortunately, my first one I went to was when they beat Kentucky at home. They beat Tyler Hero, PJ Washington. That was cool to watch. Who else? I've been to count. When I say count, I've been to plenty of Atlanta Braves games. I've been to plenty. We've been probably to our biggest Braves games of all time together. The NLCS. I've been to the NLDS. I mean, I made the TV. Me and my dad did when Acuna hit the grand slam. We was in that section on that row where the ball came. That was probably the most shake. Like that was probably the craziest I've ever seen Turner Field. Or not Turner Field.
What was SunTrust Park?
It was SunTrust at the time. Yes, it was SunTrust at the time. But I've been to NFL. I've been to the. I think it's cool. Me and you both we was at Bryce Young's first game ever. I think that's cool. I've been to the Saints-Falcons rivalry. That is about as cool as it gets in the NFL. I think it's a pretty big underrated rivalry. Mine would be as simple as a Super Bowl. I would always love to go to the NBA final. My parents have been to the Western Conference Finals back when Hakeem Olajuwon was in Houston when they lived out there. They've been to that plenty of time. I've always wanted to go to a Super Bowl, though, because, there's only one. With NBA Finals, you got at least 4 or 5 games. It's the same thing for the baseball. Super Bowl, there's only one game. They talk about that one game. They don't talk about Game 3 in the World Series. They don't talk about Game 4 in the NBA Finals. They talk about that one game in the Super Bowl. And all the activities outside of it, that's my thing. And I would also like to go to Kentucky Derby. I've always thought Kentucky Derby was cool. Everybody put on it's kind of like, dressing up for Easter Sunday. You wear your best outfit, and you just go up there and you place bets. I think it's the coolest thing in the world.
I would love to go to the Kentucky Derby, but it would have to be, and not that you can control it. I really would like to go if it's a good weather, because I've seen the Kentucky Derby and the weather's just nasty and muddy. Yeah. All right. My question of the day for you, and it's similar, not what sporting event would you like to go to, but what arena or stadium would you love
Legion
to visit?
Field. Legion Field.
Field. Hey, the old gray lady.
Lad Pebbles. No, I'm kidding. Give me the Hudson Kirby Field in Cordova, Alabama, the pit. No, I'm kidding. Why? If I had to
The
pick a
pit.
stadium I wanted to go to, yeah. Have you ever seen Cordova Stadium?
I have not. Cordova came to play Calera. No, not Cordova. Carbon Hill, for whatever reason, came to play Calera once. No, I have not seen Cordova Stadium.
Cordova, they would have. So it's literally in a pit. Like the high school's up on a hill, and you have to go down a hill, and it's in a pit.
Okay.
Like there's not mountains, but like just like earth. I guess I don't know what you describe it as. Like it truly is a pit. I will send you a picture. But yeah, I would always want to go. I've always wanted to go to Fenway, Wrigley, the old Yankee Stadium. And I've always wanted to go to Lambeau Field up in Green Bay. I've always wanted to go to. I really want to go to the Raiders' new stadium in Las Vegas, and I really want to go to the new Rams stadium. And then I'll tell you, I probably always wanted to go to the Garden in New York and watch a basketball game.
As Square Garden.
That
would be cool. The thing with those basketball arenas is they're
all the same.
They're all the same, no matter how old they are. You know, they can.
I would either go to Madison Square Garden or I'd go to the I guess the Garden in Boston, TD Square.
Okay. I've got a few. I'm like you, all those old classic stadiums I would love to visit. I would rather go to Fenway over Wrigley, even though I still would love to go to Wrigley. I would like to visit Lambeau, and as much as I would die, I would like to go to Lambeau when it's snowing. I think that would be freaking awesome. I would love to go to the Rose Bowl. That would be so cool to see. Cool. And as far as a new stadium, I've been to Mercedes-Benz, which, went there with you, which was, I was just blown away.
Yeah.
By just how impressive that place is. And to think that that's now not even like the best NFL stadium. I would love to go to SoFi too, out there, Rams and Charger Stadium. I also, believe it or not, would like to go see Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. So
let me ask you, what is the worst stadium that you've been to? The worst. Mine is the Washington Nationals.
Really? Before I give you mine, let me explain why. I wouldn't think that's that bad.
We went in a field trip in like 6th grade, and it was back. This is how old it was for you Braves fans. Back when Jason Hayward was on the team, and it was his rookie season, because I remember he hit a home run.
That was like 2010.
It was rough, and I just remember that stadium was it's just a typical stadium. Nothing stand out about it. I remember they had a Build-A-Bear, and that was about it.
That's surprising. All right, the worst stadium I've ever been to, probably Lad People Stadium.
That's what I was about to say. I literally was going to say that's my number 2 is Lad People Stadium.
It's just so.
And for y'all that don't know, that is South Alabama's stadium. It was
old stadium.
It was the old stadium, not the new. The new stadium's nice.
It's actually a very historic stadium in the city of Mobile. It was built in like 1941. Bear Bryant actually coached his first game at Alabama there. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yes.
I know it's kind of like the southern version of Legion Field. It's like,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like Birmingham's Legion, and then Mobile has that.
So Alabama in the Bryant days would really play majority of their games at Legion Field and only a few games at Bryant-Denny. It wasn't until after Bryant really left that they started playing in Bryant-Denny more, and they only played the Iron Bowl at Legion Field. And then, but every other year or so, they would also make the trip down to Mobile, and they would play a home game at Lad People Stadium.
I never knew that.
So, yeah, very historic stadium, but, man, they just did not upkeep it well at all. It is terrible. And now it's owned by the city of Mobile, and it's just terrible. But a bigger stadium, like a more well-known stadium, and I hate to say it because I really do like it, And it will get better. There's a $400 million renovation coming. The Swamp, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, man, they really need to redo that place. The interior, at least. I mean, it's all bleachers. You're tucked in there like this. I can't stand it. It is size-wise, like area-wise, is probably half the size of Bryant-Denny Stadium, but they fit almost that many people in there.
And I'll tell you another place, and we have not mentioned it, and I don't know how we've missed it. Coleman Coliseum. Oh my
gosh,
God.
Yeah. I haven't been to Coleman. You went to a lot more Alabama basketball games.
Oh my God, that is the worst stadium I've ever been to.
It's bad. It's
so
bad.
Damn dark in there. I mean,
the lighting is terrible.
If you have a high seat, you're in the dark.
Just to put it into perspective, people who have not been or not familiar. Coleman Coliseum, despite Alabama having probably the biggest athletics budget in the state of Alabama by far,
is the worst in the state.
It is most definitely the worst basketball stadium. I mean, with Neville Arena being almost brand new, the Mitchell Center at South Alabama is far and away better than
Troy has a brand.
Troy has a better one.
I'm gonna say Troy has a brand. It's brand new. Yeah, I mean
UAB's is pretty nice.
UNA's might be as bad as Coleman. That's the only thing. And I think theirs is newer than Coleman.
It'll be a sad day when Coleman Coliseum comes down because it's kind of like
it's been the only basketball arena.
It's been the only basketball arena. I mean, and they could renovate it, and they have renovated it in the past.
You
but
can only
really
do so much.
They really just need to bulldoze that thing.
Yeah.
But guys, I think that does it. Episode 21. 21. Be sure to like, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms. We're really active on Twitter. You can follow us on X and Instagram and TikTok. Give us a follow, man. Give us a follow.
Man.
We're doing some big things here, all right? And I would really appreciate it.
We both would really appreciate it. Pretty table chairs on top.
Can you please subscribe? All right, guys, heads up play.